try to show you how you can go ahead and deploy this kind of applications. So from all these examples, you can take up any example that you want, but I will go ahead and take this particular search engine, which I had actually developed. So I will go into its file, right? So when I probably go over here, you'll be able to see all these files I have actually arranged in this way. So this is my VNV folder, and this is my requirement.txt. Now to start the work over here, what I am actually going to do is that I will take this requirement.txt, I will copy this inside this particular folder, and this is what is my search engine, right? Now let me just go ahead and deploy this entire application in a Streamlit web app or Streamlit Cloud. Okay, so since this is a Streamlit web app, I will try to go ahead and show you first the deployment with Streamlit Cloud. So I will just go ahead and type Streamlit Cloud. Okay, and I will go ahead and hit enter. Let me just go ahead and write over here Streamlit Cloud. And now here you'll be able to see that Cloud Streamlit, a faster way to build and share data apps. But before that, let me go to my GitHub account. Now inside this particular GitHub account, I hope everybody has this particular account itself. I will go ahead and create my new repository, right? So let me just go ahead and click on new repository. Here I'm going to go ahead and write my search engine. Okay, search engine LLM. I will just go ahead and write like this. Then I will add a readme file, and let's say I'm going to add a license of general public license. You can select any one that you like. I will go ahead and click on the repository. One thing you should understand, the reason why I'm using the Streamlit Cloud, because you will be able to deploy any number of apps over here, and you can probably go ahead with the specific deployment. Now over here inside this particular search engine, I will just go ahead and open my folder. This is one. Okay, I will quickly go ahead and select all these files, drag and drop it inside this. Okay, so quickly I will go ahead and drag and drop it. Okay, and I know I don't even require this IPYNB because I just require this app.py and requirement.txt. So let me just close this and let me commit the changes. So once I commit the changes, now I have my entire URL. Now quickly let's go to the Streamlit Cloud, and I will go ahead and first of all sign in. Here you will be able to deploy any kind of Streamlit web app in a much more easier way. Let it be a generative AI application, let it be a machine learning application, anything as such. So here you can see some of the examples that I have already uploaded. Okay, there are a lot of advantages of using this because anyhow you don't have to pay anything with respect to the deployment, and you'll also be able to get one kind of URL, but at the end of the day you'll be having the streamlit.io at the end. Okay, so I will go ahead and click on create app, and it will say that, hey, do you already have an app? So over here it has an option to integrate with the GitHub. So I will go ahead and click this since I have uploaded in the GitHub. And as soon as you probably click on GitHub, right, it will first of all ask you for the authentication. Okay, so please make sure that you do the authentication with your GitHub account. You need to have a GitHub account for that. Now after this, I will just go ahead and search for my GitHub URL over here in my repository. So here you can see Krishnaik 06 search engine LLM, and this is my branch main. I'm in my branch main. My main file is app.py. So I will just go ahead and click over here and hit on app.py. Please make sure that you need to have a requirement.txt file over here. Otherwise it will not understand what all environment variables or what all libraries it basically requires, right? So you need to have this specific thing installed. Now I will go over here, and this is the domain that it is showing me. I will be able to use with this particular domain, I'll be able to use my web app. Now along with this, let's say you also need to add some kind of key value pairs, right? Let's say you want to add some secret keys. You can just go ahead and give your secret key name is equal to whatever name you have. You can probably go ahead and display it in this particular manner. Once you upload it, by default here you can see you are having Python 3 version 3.11. I'll be using this particular version, and along with this any key value pairs, like how we have key value pairs over here, right? Like OpenAI API key, my LangChain API key, LangChain project, HF token. I can also give this particular key by just copying and pasting it over there. But in order to access this, in my app.py, if I'm using this key anywhere, I just need to use st.secret. Okay, I have to use something like this, st.secret, and give my secret key name over here, right? With respect to any keys that I'm actually using, which is put inside my Streamlit Cloud. Let's say if I'm using HF token, right? I may copy this entire key over here. I may paste it over here. Okay. And then what I will do, I will go ahead and save this. Now, I'm using HF underscore token. Let's say if I go ahead and save this, now here I've just added one secret. Now, in order to access it in my app.py, I will just go ahead and write st.secrets. Okay. And this how I will be able to access this. Okay. So if you really want to know more about it, just go ahead and search for Streamlit secrets. Okay. And here you will be able to see secret management, st.secrets, right? If you probably go ahead and use this. So let's say you are given me an OpenAI key, you just need to write st.secrets with respect to your OpenAPI key, right? OpenAPI key over here. So in your Streamlit app, the following values would be true, right? Which is equal to your OpenAPI key. So just by using this particular code, you will be able to use it. But right now, the application that I have actually created, you'll be able to see, and let me just do one thing before I run this also. I'll remove it because here I don't require any secret key, because from the front end, I will be putting my Hugging Face API token or any token that is required. Okay. And here I'm actually using this Hugging Face endpoint also, right, to access any kind of things. So this is my entire, okay, this, no, I'm in the wrong tool. Okay, this is my app.py, right? So in this particular case, you'll be able to see that I'm not using any kind of secret key. I'm just typing it from the front end. Okay, my Grok API key. So now what I'll do, I'll just go ahead and deploy this. Okay. So once I deploy this, you'll be seeing that in the backend, first of all, it will go ahead and install all the requirement.txt first of all, right? So the deployment is very much simple with the help of Streamlit app, right? So now here you'll be able to see that the deployment is basically happening. And with respect to the deployment over here, you'll be also seeing that the requirement.txt will get installed in the backend. Okay. So once it gets installed, you will be able to see your entire application. Okay. So this is the most easiest way to probably do it. Before that, what I will do quickly, I will go to my env file now. Let me go back to my env file. I will take this Grok API key because this is what I will be required in my application, right? So again, based on the requirement.txt, it will take some amount of time, and let's wait for that time to, do the installation of all my libraries and packages that I required for that particular project. And once it does, my project will be ready. Now you can see the requirement.txt has run. And here is my entire Streamlit app, right? Now, this is how amazing and easy it is. So I'll just go ahead and paste my Grok API key over here. Once I press enter, I should be able to ask any question. Okay, tell me about machine learning. Now here I've created my search engine using agents, right? So here you can see Wikipedia is just thinking, okay? Then Wikipedia invalid tool name, some invalid tool name here. It is basically coming in search archive. None is a valid tool. Try one. So finally, you'll be able to see that from search and from RC, we are not able to get this information. So it will try to give me the information from machine learning, right? So machine learning is a field of study in artificial intelligence. Let me do one more thing. Let me just go ahead and search for attention is all you need research paper. So here you can see the number. It is nothing but I will just search for this RCIF, this particular code. Okay. So if I go away and search for it, I should be able to get my answer. So now it is going to my RCIF. It is probably communicating over here. Okay. And here you can see again, it is probably, and finally you get this particular input, right? Tell me about generative AI. I will just go ahead and ask this particular question and see how the cloud is probably providing this entirely completely for free. So you can go ahead and probably do this, right? So here you can see machine learning, generative AI, Wikipedia, all the communication is specifically happening. Again, we do not have to probably go to RCIF also, because this tool will be more than sufficient with respect to giving your output, right? And to know more details about it, here you can see the user is asking about machine learning and generative AI. So both this information, the chat history is also basically being used, right? And here you can probably see everything as such, right? So I hope you were able to understand this deployment technique. One more deployment mechanism that I would definitely like to show is from Hugging Face, which is nothing but the specific spaces. Okay. So I will show you how you can go ahead and create your own space. Now Hugging Face space is something very amazing. Hugging Face, it provides some amount of face with respect, some amount of space or deployment server for you all, so that you will be able to deploy your entire LLM application, and you'll be able to use it completely over here and deploy with the URL itself, right? So let's say there are so many spaces over here. If I go ahead and click on any one of them, right? Let's say I will go ahead and click on this open LLM leaderboard instead of using leaderboard. Let's see, right now everything is running on 0. So if I just go ahead and click this, right? So here you can see ID documentation recognition. You can drop this particular image over here, right? Like this. And I can probably go ahead and click on check document details, and I will be able to get all the information. So this entire deployment is specifically happening in the Hugging Face space itself, right? So similarly, what I will do is that I'll take this entire application and deploy it over there itself. And let's see what exactly we'll be able to get it or not. Okay. But again, if I talk about Hugging Face spaces, you can read more about it. Hugging Face spaces. Okay. So here you will be able to discover, and many people usually upload this, right? And you'll also be able to deploy your entire application. So that is what we are going to see in the next video. So I hope you like this particular video with respect to the deployment. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you. Take care. Have a great day. Continue our deployment series. Already in our previous video, I have already shown you how you can deploy your generative AI application with Streamlit web app with the help of Streamlit Cloud. And probably the steps were quite easy. We just need to put all the code in our GitHub repository, and from this we just need to connect it in our Streamlit lab. Now Streamlit lab or Streamlit Cloud, you can basically say in that way. Now I am going to deploy this entire code solution in Hugging Face spaces. Okay. Now spaces actually provides you, you will be able to probably deploy your generative AI applications over here or any machine learning applications over here. So step by step, we will probably go ahead and I'll try to show you completely in a very much easy way. Here, if you just go in spaces, you'll be able to see many use cases which are specifically deployed, and you can go ahead and check it out, and you can also check out the code, right? So let's go ahead and do this. There are many steps that it will be involved while probably deploying this entire solution in the Hugging Face spaces. Over here, we are also going to use something called as GitHub Action. Okay. So here, if I go ahead and search for Hugging Face space, okay, GitHub Action. Okay. So here you'll be able to see managing spaces with GitHub Action. So if you probably go ahead and see this repository, this is the code that we are specifically going to use. So we will be creating an YAML file, and we will say, hey, you need to push in this particular Hugging Face space and probably do the deployment. Okay. So here I will be going ahead and showing you step by step how these things can be implemented. So first of all, I will go ahead and create a new file inside this repository. Now, first of all, here I will be using one folder called as .github. So usually whenever you create a CI/CD pipeline, you really need to create a YAML file, and the entire configuration inside that YAML file will actually tell you that how you're going to push the code in the deployment servers, right? So for that, I will be creating this .github/workflow, okay, workflows. So this is the folder that I'm actually going to create, and inside this I'm going to create this main.yaml file. Okay. Now with respect to this main.yaml file, what I'm actually going to do, I will go ahead and copy this entire thing. So here you'll be able to see this is the important code that I will be copying, right? So this code is responsible, and as soon as we do the commit in the GitHub repository, this will be pushing our entire code repository into this particular Hugging Face token. Okay. So Hugging Face space. Okay. Here, please observe each and everything carefully. What is the necessary information? Here you will be able to see it out. Okay. So let me just do one thing. Let me just hide this if possible. So first of all, over here you'll be able to see that whenever we work with GitHub Action, most of the parameters will be in the form of key value pairs. So this is nothing but syncing to Hugging Face Hub. We are pushing the branch main. Job is basically to run this entire thing in the Ubuntu latest version. We will check out all the code and finally we'll push this to the hub, which is my Hugging Face hub. And we will be using some secret token, that is our HF underscore token. I will show you how to probably create this particular token, and where we need to push on this specific space ID. Okay. Now how to get this space ID, I will be talking about it. Okay. So let's go back to our Hugging Face space and let us go ahead and create our new space. Here I'm just going to write search underscore engine underscore LLM. Okay. So this will basically be my application name over here, which I'm actually creating in my space. After that, I will go ahead and select a license. Let's say I go ahead and select Apache 2.0. I know this is a Streamlit app, but other than this, it is for Grady also it is supported. For static templates also it is supported. And if you really want to work with Dockers, it is also supporting that, right? And here you have a space hardware free. By default, they'll give you CPU basics with 2 vCPU and 16 GB free RAM. Okay. You can actually go ahead and use this. This will be more than sufficient to go ahead with, right? Then whether you want to make this space public or private, let's say that I want to go ahead and probably create this particular space in public. So I will go ahead and click on create space. Okay. As soon as I probably click on create space, here you can see that I can clone this entire thing and I can start working. Okay. If you want to go ahead and see how many files are basically present over here inside, none of the files are specifically present. So what I'm actually going to do, from my GitHub, whatever files is there, I need to push to this particular Hugging Face hub, right? Where this all files will be present, right? Now, the most important thing is that how do I generate this HF underscore token or this particular token, right? So for that, what I will do, I will go back to my Hugging Face hub or Hugging Face. I will click on settings button. Okay. Now inside this settings button, I will go click on something called as access token. Now over here you'll be seeing that I've created so many access token. To start with, I will just go ahead and write new, and let's say I will go ahead and create my token over here. But please make sure to select the type as write. Okay. So let's see whether it is right or not. No, it is fine grained. Let me just go ahead and create my access token once again. So I'll be going over here. I will click on new token. I will write token 1. Okay. This will be the name of the token. And type I will go ahead and select as write. The reason I'm selecting as write because I need to push something into the Hugging Face hub inside this particular space, right? So all the files I need to push it over here. So for this I need to write, I need to get a write access token. So I will go ahead and generate a token, and I'll make sure to copy this specific token. Okay. And this particular token I will store it in my notepad so that I will be using this, where I will be using it and talk about it. Okay. So let me just go ahead and close this after creating the token. Now I'll go back over here. This is the first step. I've created my token, right? Now the next thing that you'll be seeing over here, I have something called as git push git https Hugging Face underscore username. Now what is my Hugging Face underscore username? It is nothing but Krishnaik06. So I will just go ahead and write it over here. Krishnaik06. Okay. So this is my first Hugging Face token information that I have. Sorry, the username information that I have, that is Krishnaik06. Then I will be using the same Hugging Face token over here. Then huggingface.o. Then here you'll be able to see I have to also mention the Hugging Face username here too. So let me just go ahead and write Krishnaik06. Along with this, my space name. My space name is very simple. I need to use this search underscore engine underscore LLM. Okay. So now here I will just go ahead and write search underscore engine underscore LLM. Okay. And then this basically goes to the, and please make sure to make the spelling right. And finally this is going to my main branch. So that is the reason we are pushing this entire information into the main branch, and this is my main branch, right? Inside my Hugging Face space. So yes, this was all the information that I need to put over here. Now the next thing is that I will go to my settings. Okay. I will click on settings over here. Okay. Inside this settings, there will be something called as secret and variable. Okay. Now inside this secret and variable, I will click on actions, and here I need to go ahead and create my secret key, repository secret key. The new repository secret key that I am actually going to go ahead and create, right? It should be the same name, right? hf_token. So as soon as we call this code secrets.hf_token, it is going to take this particular token from here. Okay. And this particular info that I have will be this key, right? I will be assigning it over here. And then we will go ahead and click on add secret. Once we add this secret, here you can see it is my hf_token. Perfect. Now this work is done. This is also updated. This my entire this run where we need to push the code is also updated. And as soon as I do this, I'll just go ahead and commit the changes. Okay. So once I commit the changes, now an amazing thing is going to happen. Suddenly just click on this actions. Now see this entire CI/CD pipeline is running. If I go inside this, these are the steps that will happen on push, right? Now it is starting the job, and here you can see that I am getting some kind of error. Okay. Let's see what is the error. So here you can see to Hugging Face spaces crush engine, rejected main fetch, failed to push some reference things. This is usually caused by another repository pushing to the same reference. Okay. Now hint have locally, this is used by another repository pushing to this, right? So here what is it is basically saying is that before this I tried to test one of the repositories, and based on that I was just trying to push it. Okay. So I will go back to that particular repository and I'm pushing it the same thing. So that is the reason it won't make any sense. Let me just go back to my repository over here. Okay. And let me open that particular repository. Okay. Search engine LLM, right? So this is my repository. Here you can go ahead and see that I have my GitHub workflows. And now again, what I will be doing, I'll be having this entire thing right over here. Now let me do one thing quickly over here, that what I will do is that I will go back over here in my code. Okay. And don't worry, because of this error you may be getting confused, because I just tried it before earlier, right? I will just go ahead and update it just to show you how things happen, right? So here I will just update one of the file. Okay. One of the file, yeah, and then I will just go ahead and commit it. Okay. So here let me just go ahead. So here you can see I will just edit this file. Okay. I will just go ahead and commit it. Okay. I will just commit this particular changes. As soon as I commit this changes, if I go back to my code, one amazing thing is basically going to happen. Go to the actions, and here you will be able to see I have updated the app.py. It is telling me to sync to hub. Now this entire code is basically a push, right? Now this push has actually happened in my Hugging Face space, right? So I will go ahead and see this particular link. Now you'll be able to see the magic, right? So once I hit this link, right, it is giving me an error. Okay. First of all, this readme file, it's okay. We'll try to fix this. But if I go and see in my file section, you'll be able to see that I have my app.py, I have my requirement.txt, and along with this, I also have my GitHub workflow, right? The entire GitHub workflow. Perfect. But still we are getting an error. How to fix that particular error, right? So what I will do, I will just open my readme file. Okay. And we need to edit this readme file. Okay. So what I will do, I will just remove this because it requires some special characters. Like I need to add what kind of license is there. I will go ahead and say, hey, this is my search engine. Okay. Then I will add the SDK, that is Streamlit. I will add some kind of emoji. Okay. Something like this, and I'll add some color form. Let's go ahead and add this, and short description. So this is nothing but search engine with LLM. Okay. Now once I update this quickly, let's commit this changes to the main file. Now here, if I go back to my apps in this Hugging Face space, now see this entire thing. The entire build will start running. First of all, it will go ahead with installing all the requirement.txt, right? So if I just go ahead and see this, right? See over here, all the requirement.txt is basically getting hit, and the container is going to get built up right now. And once this is built, my entire application will show up over here, right? So we'll just wait for some time to just show up the things over here that we are looking for. And till then, if I just go back to my files over here. Okay. In my files, please make sure to download this readme file, because I need to use this same readme file inside my GitHub, right? So I will make sure to update this entire thing. So I will just copy this and I will go back to my app.py and let's go ahead and update it over here. Okay. So in order to update it, I will just remove this and I'll paste it over here. I'll commit the changes. Okay. Now as soon as the commit will happen, automatically this particular code is there, but again the action will go ahead, and this is all because the CI/CD pipeline is running. Whenever I do any kind of commit and all, automatically the push will basically happening in the hub, right? In my Hugging Face space. Okay. Now finally you can see my entire application startup will start running. It is taking some amount of time because there are lot of inbuilt all the requirement.txt libraries will get installed, and we will just wait for some time. It is still building the entire container, and the entire application that we really want to run will be shown over here. And this is how you can actually do the entire deployment just by using this CI/CD pipeline, right? And this is what is an example of GitHub Actions, right? Here in this main.yaml file, what I have actually done is that I've told, hey, on push, you have to push it to the main branch. Where we need to push it in our Hugging Face space. And that is the information that I've actually given over here, right? So this was one of the most easiest way to probably do the deployment, and you can probably do any kind of generative AI applications that you really want to do, right? So let's do one thing. Let's wait for some time and let's let the build specifically happen. And once it happens, I will probably show you the next steps. Okay. And we will also test out the entire application over here. So yeah, let's wait for some time. So finally you can see, guys, this entire application has started. So we will hide this, and here is our entire application working on this particular Hugging Face spaces. And you can probably pass this particular URL, share this URL, and you can show everyone that what you have actually developed, right? Now we will quickly go ahead and I will be using my environment variable, and I will update my Grok API key. You can probably get the Grok API key over here, paste it, press enter, and after this I will just go ahead and search for what is machine learning, and I think I should be able to get the answer. Okay, so thinking, search, thinking, invalid tool, Wikipedia, no need. Then from the search itself we are able to get all the information. It did not think to probably go to Wikipedia, and here is my information. Right now, still if I go ahead and ask what is generative AI, I should be able to get my response. Again, it is searching from this DuckDuckGo search, search for generative artificial intelligence and all. So here you can see requested tool, Wikipedia, search archive, and Wikipedia, right? Wikipedia, if I keep on second, okay, and it is saying that it is not a valid tool, it is not required. And here is the information with respect to our generative AI. So I hope you were able to understand this entire deployment mechanism. You can probably go ahead and deploy anything that you want, and I think this Hugging Face space will be more than sufficient. But at the end of the day, I have actually shown you how you can create this entire thing with the help of this GitHub workflows, where we have also used GitHub Actions. So yes, this was it from my side. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.